Hello everyone, I'm day weather meteorologist Don Watzel with your afternoon video update for Tuesday, November 10th. Still going to see some very strong wind gusts hanging around sections of Interstate 80 and 25 throughout this evening. Then they will decrease during the overnight. However, that decrease will not be uniform. We'll highlight that here in a moment. Later on into the rest of the week, we're still going to see some good wind gusts here and there through Friday, but thankfully they're not going to be quite as bad. Some good afternoon mixing, though, could get us some occasional gusts around 40 miles an hour or more in some of our wind-prone sections. Mountain snow continues through about Thursday, especially in the west. That's where the heavier amounts of snow will accumulate over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, northern and southern mountain areas will get light snow amounts with some areas of blowing snow with afternoon strong winds. Then, heading into this weekend, we could be looking at a widespread high wind event that could cover large sections of our interstates and major highways Saturday into early Sunday. First things first, through tonight, here with this solid red line is our high wind warning area. Through the rest of this afternoon and into this evening, wind gusts of 55 to 75 miles an hour will be possible. We've been getting some of those wind gusts so far throughout the day, even starting early this morning. Now, as we get into the early evening hours, after about 6 o'clock or so, Laramie, Cheyenne, and around Wheatland should start to see these winds diminish. However, elsewhere, I-80 Elk Mountain in Arlington, continuing east of Laramie on the summit and between Chugwater and Wheatland near I-25 Bordeaux. The strongest wind gusts of 60 miles an hour or more will linger until about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight before finally diminishing. As for the rest of this yellow shaded area, still looking at some 40 and 50 mile an hour gusts that should diminish by the time we get to 5 or 6 o'clock and continue to subside after the evening hours. As for the rest of the state, again, here's our moderate snow potential. Could be looking at about 3 to 6 inches in some of the heavier snowfall in areas in the higher mountains with breezy winds. Outlying areas will get about an inch or two, maybe up to 3 inches in the northern Bighorns, as well as the Wind Rivers and Absarokas. Meanwhile, the rest of the state mostly dry and chilly with light to breezy winds throughout the rest of the overnight. Then for Wednesday, again, still some possible afternoon winds over 40 miles an hour along I-80 from basically west of Rock Springs, Green River until about Laramie. Also, areas between Rawlins and Casper could get in on these wind gusts, but thankfully not going to be near as strong. The rest of the state will have light to breezy winds with continued chilly temperatures. As far as snow goes, some of the plains may get a little bit of light snow shower or flurry activity, but shouldn't amount to much. As before, a lot of the more accumulating snows will be confined over the mountain areas, including the Bighorns, Snowy and Sierra Madres, and especially the western mountain areas where the heaviest snow is expected to fall through about late morning Thursday. Now, regarding that high wind event that could occur this weekend, here's what Saturday could look like according to one model output. This is the European model, which typically does a pretty good job with forecasting high wind gusts. And as you can see, around South Pass, and especially along Interstate 80 from basically Rock Springs through Cheyenne, gusts 45 to 55, and I-25 getting in on some gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour as well. That's one possibility. Here's another one. Now, this is an American model, and these winds are likely overdone a little bit at this time. However, it does show the potential of a widespread high wind event that could cover all our major interstates. Even I-90 might get in on some of the high wind action with the wind-prone areas along I-25 through central Wyoming and further north towards Buffalo, as well as around South Pass and the Wind River Basin getting in on some very strong gusts as well. Now, again, we're still a few days away from this, but a tightening pressure difference should give a good portion of the state some very strong winds, which will once again cause problems for those traveling in light and high-profile vehicles. Western mountains and valleys on a Saturday also could be getting on some more moderate or even heavier snow amounts. Heaviest snows in the higher mountain elevations with some accumulations possible in the valleys as well. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.